Welcome to Live at Studio B, presented by the Television Production Club in association with the Dutchess Student Media Group. I'm Morgan.
I'm Trevor, and we're here with Gus Bellflower.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed that that instrumental piece you just played. A couple of things that came to my mind when you were playing it is, as a musician, right now I play in an instrumental band, and I think that a lot of times the power of music is words can't do it any justice. And I think one of the interesting things about things like you just played is that it really allows you to kind of experience the emotions that the music makes you feel in your own, through your own narrative. And I found myself doing that. What's the role of instrumental music in your songwriting, and like in general, what's your outlook on that?
Well, I mean, I always, for me, the music always comes first before the lyrics. The lyrics are just like kind of an added bonus. And so really my process is I'll make the song first, and then if I feel like adding lyrics, I'll try to add lyrics. I mean, sometimes it doesn't work out because like the music is too intricate or something, but sometimes I'll put lyrics to intricate music, and it'll be hard to do like both at the same time. So when I go to record it, I'll have to do the music first and then do the vocals on top.
Yeah, I totally get that.
So for you, typically the music itself, the instrumental, has to really capture the emotional feeling, the experience.
Oh yeah, definitely. If I don't like the instrumental part, then I'll just
scrap the
song completely.
So lyrics are totally secondary, but how do you determine what's the you know, how do you work it out whether or not you want to add lyrics to a song or not?
If I'm just listening to it and I'll hum like a vocal melody, and maybe I'll add like one lyric to that vocal melody, and I feel like it sounds really good at that part, I'll just base the entire song around that one lyric.
So you'll find the melody and then you'll write the lyrics.
Try to add everything in, and it takes a while.
Yeah, and I totally understand that thing about trying to find a balance between being able to play this play technically and then be able to sing.
It's rough.
Yeah,
sometimes.
So thanks for doing this, man. We really enjoyed it.
Thanks for having me.
I know you've got a few more songs. What's the title of the next song that you're going to be singing?
The next song is called Charlie.
Thoughts of you I can't shake, so frail, so afraid, and I will not try to change or sway, 'cause I know it's not my place. It's your life, your way. There's things I'll keep, the memories I'll take to my end. Embrace the way your bones felt in my hands, the hope that I'll see you again. To say there's so much life has in store, but it's days like today where I don't want it anymore. Things I keep, the memories I'll take to my end. Melons and cherry, the cold my lips felt on your head. I it's finally sinking in. And you've told me well, with not what you say, but all you do. I've learned so much. The love that you gave will see me through all my days. You're a hero to me, and if half of you and I could be, I'd no longer feel small, but standing tall for all the world to see.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, man. That was heavy. I am, from what I got from that, it seems like about the death of somebody.
My uncle, Charlie. He was my grandfather's brother. There were 4 of them, and he died a few months ago. He was the last of the 4. So it's like kind of like, it's like the end of an era kind of thing in my family. So it like hit us all pretty hard.
Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it in your vocals. It seems like you really use your songwriting as kind of a cathartic way of kind of coping with things.
Oh yeah, it's very therapeutic for me.
Do you ever consider the rawness of your lyricism and how that might be perceived?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure not everybody's gonna get it because it's just so personal to me. Like, I feel like I know not everybody's gonna connect with it like some like pop song or something like that, but it's like I don't really write music for people. I just write it for me, and if other people like it, then that's great, but if they don't, then that's still great because I like it.
yeah, it does have that kind of insular quality about it, and not in a navel-gazing kind of way, but the personal can oftentimes be universal. Lived experiences like the death of a loved one are fairly common.
Yeah.
I was wondering, your music carries a very melancholy feeling. I have to wonder what kind of lived experiences motivate your songwriting. In general, I have a feeling that's what we can expect from you.
Yeah, it's a lot of deaths and self-loathing and
Turmoil.
pain.
Yeah, man. Well, it definitely feels honest, I could say. So, what's the next song you're gonna play for us?
The next song I'm gonna play is Neanderthal. Drink some water real quick.
Staying hydrated is important.
Yes.
We're a big proponent of water here at DCC.
That's the best thing to drink.
Water is the word. Water is the way. Water is the world.
true. Wish I didn't need to look up the words you used to describe things. I'm not agree. Like I get what you mean. I don't know a damn thing. Wish I could hold intense conversation with what sparks your interest. But all that I know, the most primal of instincts, the mind of a caveman. Bone in my hand, still question the sunlight. So obsessed with violence, yet still scared to die. As others rub sticks to create the first fire, I sit idly by. But at least I figured out that I should meet
to your senses soon. There's no doubt that as much as I love you, I'm going to lose you. It's what I can't give you.
So loss is a word that comes to mind pretty immediately thinking about your music. Loss of loved ones, loss of time, and I don't know, honestly just this total dispossession of things that make a life important and valuable. Right? But what do you feel, other than your personal experiences, have kind of oriented you in the music you make?
How do I feel they oriented me?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah. I mean, how about the experiences of those around you? I mean, can you look around and really relate to a lot of the people around you you've surrounded yourself with?
Not really.
Can they relate to you?
I don't know. I can't really speak for them. I think they feel like they might be able to. I'm sure a couple of them do, but most of them probably not.
So comparisons to other musicians probably are pretty null then, right?
Well, I mean, Trevor and I compare, I think, pretty good. And
How so?
just we've both been through a lot of stuff in our
Absolutely, man.
childhoods, and we're both like still trying to cope with it and
Yeah, and I think
grow from it.
I think whether or not we realize that all of our experiences and everything we absorb, all of the inputs create an output, like unconsciously or otherwise. Yeah, I find this really somber kind of tone throughout, your songwriting, and a lot of it, like he said, loss. Another word like he uses, like abandonment almost. It like it's that song seems speculative, but it's like I don't know, man. Like what do you think put you there from in that vantage point?
That song?
That song, but that kind of like that outlook that lends to that kind of writing.
Just a lot of childhood issues. My mom died when I was 12. When I was born, she wasn't able to take care of me at the time, so I kind of lived with her best friend for a while, and I basically saw her as my mother because like I was still a baby, so I kind of like imprinted onto her, and then I wouldn't say got taken away, but they decided it was best for me to move up here with real family when I was 7, so like that kind of started it. She also that woman married my grandfather. I'm not like, I think there were like legal reasons for it or something like that, and then he died when I was 8, so like that was like a mother figure gone when I was 7, a father figure gone when I was 8, and then it kind of just like slowly spiraled from there.
So like a lot of quicksand, basically,
Yeah.
not stable ground. I mean, I remember being 7 or 8, I definitely remember being 12, so I can't imagine how what those experiences lend to your development. But I can definitely feel it, man. It gave me goosebumps for sure. So, what else you got, dude?
My next song was called Lindo. Let me see if I can just have to retune a couple of times.
No worries. What's your favorite movie?
Huh? Favorite movie?
What's your favorite movie, Morgan?
Men in Black. That's not my favorite movie. How about you?
Probably Jurassic Park,
Which one?
the newest one.
What's your favorite Shrek?
The one with the cat.
Okay.
Second one, I think.
No, he had his own spinoff.
All right, cool.
Alright. Try this one. Watching you eat your meal so that you would not choke. This was the last time we spoke. Dimming the lights down in your room to match the hall. The last time I'd see you at all. Summers are gone and there to stay when you're not around. Who can I run to now? The years melt in front of my eyes, a masquerade. Nights don't turn to days, they just fade. There was a moment when your spirit passed through me. I felt all you felt, saw all you've seen. And now I will never be whole, all thoughts untrue. Knowing I was once filled with you. Summers are gone and there to stay when you're not around. Who can I run to now? The years melt in front of my eyes, a masquerade. Nights don't turn to days, they just fade.
It all just fades away.
Some of the feeling I kind of get from some of your songs is more than just the sense of being out of place or unwelcome, but a more total displacement, both from place and time in a way. Hey, you're completely out of your element in a lot of ways, without people, without the things that you once relied on. It seems like I don't know. You want to talk about that maybe a little bit? Some exposition on that.
Yeah, I can try.
Sorry.
It's alright. I guess it's just like, just from all my childhood, I just like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, I guess. Like, for a while, I was bullied at school a lot, and also bullied at home around, like, the same couple of years. And I guess when you don't really have anybody telling you you're worth anything, it's hard to feel that you are.
So you really had no safety net. You really had no network.
I mean,
reinforcement there.
Yeah, for maybe a couple of years, I felt like, I'm sure there was, but I felt that there wasn't. And
something I think that your music conveys then you think you start to internalize a feeling like that after a while.
I think definitely. I think even as adults, I think if the people around you keep telling you that you have a tale, eventually you're going to believe it. You're going to start telling yourself that.
Even if you know you don't,
right.
There will be times when you just can't help it.
And if you do that to a kid, I mean, that definitely has a profound effect on their perception of themselves and their perception of how everyone else perceives them. I agree with Morgan about the sense that I get that you feel out of place. At least that's how your music conveys itself. That you might be missing something, but I think that after a while, maybe. Basically, I think that, what I get is that maybe you were missing something at a time, and you're still kind of like resonating with that.
Yeah,
Even
I have safety nets all over
right.
the place now.
And even if you have it, it's still
get that feeling every once in a while.
Because maybe you build up an idealization of what that would have been like, and you don't realize that what you have now is real.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
I mean, I feel like what I have now is real with the people around me now. Like, the weird thing is that there's a couple of them are the same people from when I was a kid, but like when I was like 10 or 11, they were like the same age roughly. Like they didn't, like I didn't know any better, they didn't know any better. Nobody, like, you grow the older you get and you change and you forgive and just let things be sometimes.
Well said.
Do you maybe feel that when somebody is so caught up in their own emotional turmoil, it can sometimes be difficult, or not difficult, but easy to take people around you who care for granted?
Yeah,
I've seen it. Yeah, so
definitely. Like there definitely were people that cared about me when I was younger, but I was just so, like, just from all the stuff that happened, like, it's hard to tell yourself different sometimes.
It's like a fog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to see through it.
But, like, I know it's there. It's just hard to...
Did you ever begin to place the blame on yourself then for some of these things that had happened?
Oh, yeah. That's what happened. That's probably mostly what happens.
This is the live at Studio B therapy sessions.
Yes.
Yeah, man. But I definitely, like, I think that, there's definitely a lot of depth to your songwriting. Clearly, we're just pulling this stuff out. What you got next for us?
This next song is called Monster. Got to retune again.
This program is brought to you by H2O and NPR.
And Terry Gross.
All things considered. I'm Terry Gross.
And I'm Terry Gross.
And we're Terry Gross. NPR, All Things Considered, is filmed in front of a live studio audience. And one guy named Jeff behind the mixing board.
My name is Jeff.
And a guy named Ian behind Jeff.
We actually record in Studio B, but it's live from Studio A.
And a hand that I don't know who owns.
Okay.
What's the song called?
Monster.
Sounds promising. Let's do it.
till her end. But so did gain, so did gain. I love my child, and I will always let her know. But so did Casey, so did Casey. I love my friends, I love my friends, love my friends, love my friends. But so did Casey, so did Casey, so did Casey. Can you convince me that I won't become like them? Just one reason to separate this blend. 'Cause just like them, I can bend, and just like them, I can break. And how will I know what it takes? And will I know if I'm not safe before it's too late?
So you said so did Casey in there, right? Is that a reference to the serial killer?
Casey Anthony.
Okay. I thought maybe you were referring to was it John Wayne Gacy
Oh,
serial
the
killer.
fourth one was Gacy.
Okay.
Man. I think this is a good time to talk about your musical influences.
Charles Manson, maybe.
No, man, I've known you for quite a few years now, and one thing I can say about you is you have an eclectic taste in music. You know, what are some of the big ones for you, I think?
Well, Smashing Pumpkins are the reason I picked up a guitar in the first place. So they're kind of a huge influence on me. Mark Kozelek, Red House Painters, different classical music, classical styles like Agustin Barrios, a little bit of Sigur Rós. I try to just with the layering, I try to layer my music kind of when it's not just me and a guitar.
Yeah, I've definitely heard your produced stuff, and I think you do a good job in kind of adding a nice level of some ambience.
Yeah, I try to get atmospheric in it and stuff.
Absolutely. I think this is also a good time to say that, you're a closet grindcore guitarist.
Black and grind.
Yeah, you want to talk about your other your other guitar playing?
My electric guitar playing.
Yeah, I think people wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, I play a lot of, like, not a lot, but I don't really create metal, but I like playing other metal songs. Like, I learn a lot of Goat Horse songs, trying to learn Cannibal Corpse songs, but it's too difficult right now.
Yeah, I just think the average music listener wouldn't expect that. From hearing this, that you'd also be sitting there, chugging away. But
It's just fun.
that's what musicians do. What else you got?
So my last guitar song. It's called the Nature Song. Retune.
This show is brought to you by Jeff and Ian and Tyler.
Did you hear that Amazon pretty much annexed Seattle?
I didn't hear that. What's this song called?
No, the Nature Song.
that stands tall. I've watched as rats devour their young. Another life looked down upon, and we can't change what came before. When we are gone, time will move forward forevermore. After all, I have rearranged. The leaves still turn red, the seasons change, and the best I can do is blend right in as each new day begins.
So,
Yeah, man, there's a lot of imagery in that song. I really dig that.
Thank you.
so something I think you seem to kind of touch on in a lot of your songs, or those that you've played tonight, it's kind of the irreversibility of time. But in that one specifically, you're also you're portraying nature as mostly a really destructive force, rather than a life-giving force. So
Yeah,
But-
you can.
at the same time, I found it to be kind of more hopeful, even if in a bittersweet kind of way. But I don't know. I have to wonder, what do you find solace in? What do you find hope in?
Well, I wrote that during a time when I was kind of questioning myself, and I guess in like the grand scheme of things, if I even matter. So like, it's basically what it was about. Like, whatever I do in this life, 30 years after I die, nature's still gonna keep going, time is still gonna keep going. Everybody that remembers me will probably be dead too, and I'll just won't exist in anything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, right? I don't know. I think that if you embrace meaninglessness, you can apply your own meaning to anything. I don't know if you've come to that, but I mean, ultimately, everything's gonna wash into the ocean of time.
Yeah.
You know, people like I don't remember who said this, but you know, what are we doing recording all this music and trying to put our names down in history? No one's gonna remember. No one's gonna remember Jimi Hendrix or David Bowie
Well, I mean, they can
or
still
Prince.
listen to his
Eventually,
music.
we might be better off just going and writing our name in a cave somewhere. It might last longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It worked pretty well for our forebears, you know. So.
Yeah.
I mean, they have iCloud now, so
Maybe iCloud will prevail.
maybe.
Well, it's been quite enjoyable. I know you've got a a piano piece that you would that you like to play for us?
Yeah,
Do
kind
you,
of play piano, so
Does that one have a title?
it's called Better Left Unsaid.
That's funny, man.
That's perfect. Yeah, well, thank you, Gus Bellflower, for coming and performing for
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you again.
Thanks for the little therapy session.
Sorry about that.
No, I think it's better to go deep than otherwise. I'm Trevor,
I've been Morgan.
and this is Live at Studio B. Thanks.
Thank you again.